Hello everyone, welcome to another Dragunov guide. In this video we're going to talk about a couple of special techs for Dragunov, specifically is Blue Spark running 2 and is sneak cancel. I think we're going to also talk about is crouch cancelling, which because it basically involves the same technique as the sneak cancel, although it's not really that useful anymore, but we're going to talk about that later. So let's jump into the game right now. And let's talk about the Blue Spark running 2, right? So, as you probably know, in this game there are two versions of running 2. The regular version, which you just do by inputting the command with no specific timing. And then you have the Blue Spark version, which is done by... Can I get a Blue Spark? Okay. By inputting the wall running 2 as fast as you can. Now, if you are like a legacy Tekken player, you probably don't need this tutorial, because if you work your butt off in Tekken 7 with Dragunov's running 2, especially up close like this, all you have to do is basically replicate that. But for those of you that just started with Tekken 8, the way to get the Blue Spark version, this is what you used to, like in this game, you can just run right in your opponent's face and you can input the running 2 attack very late during the animation. You see that? That wasn't the case in Tekken 7. As soon as you start running and you're up close to the opponent, the game would immediately cancel your running animation. So you basically had to input the command with a very specific timing in order to get the running 2 up close. Now, the way it works is this. If you tap forward one time in Tekken, you get a regular step, right? Now, unless you're playing a character like, for example, Lee, which has a special stance by tapping forward, or even Kazuya, he has his I think it's called misstep, just like Lee. They just tap forward, and they will do a special move, a special transition. But with most characters, if you tap forward one time, you get a step. If you tap forward 2 times in rapid succession, this wasn't the case actually in Tekken 7. You would get just a regular dash, a regular forward dash. Here, you already start running, basically. Can I... Wait a minute. Yeah, you see, he immediately starts running. This is something that they changed for Tekken 8. In Tekken 7, you used to get just a regular dash. And you should still consider this as a regular dash, because you're running here, but you're not gonna get the Blue Spark version. To get the Blue Spark version, you need to tap forward 3 times. Forward, forward, forward. Like that. Let's see if I can show it again. You have to press forward 3 times. And then when you press forward the 3rd time, that's when you input the 2. So you do forward, forward, and then the last forward needs to be almost simultaneous to the 2 input. So you almost need to press them on the same frame. It's not exactly like that. You need to get like a specific timing. Now there are basically 2 ways to do this. You either do forward, forward, you stop for a moment, and then you input forward 2 at the same time. So you do forward, like I do. I really like to use this method. Forward, forward, small pause, and then you press forward 2 together. And in most cases, if you do it correctly, you should get a Blue Spark. I think alternatively, you can do something like tap forward, and then you press forward, forward 2 very, very quickly. So forward, pause, forward, forward 2 very, very quickly. I'm not a fan of that version. I think I was using that that timing with the arcade stick. I think on arcade stick I like the forward, neutral, forward, forward 2. And on pad I like forward, forward, neutral, forward 2. And this is the timing that I use to get the Blue Spark version. Forward, forward, slight pause. You pause for a brief moment and then you press forward, forward plus 2 together. This is how you used to do in Tekken 7 to get a point blank running 2. And now this technique is basically used to get the Blue Spark version, which gives you, enhanced damage, and that's it pretty much. You don't get better frames, unfortunately. But that's basically the technique. You just press forward, forward, small pause, forward 2, or you do forward, pause, forward, forward 2, very, very quickly. Personally, I prefer the first one, but I think it also depends on the peripheral. Like I said, on arcade stick, I used to like forward, neutral, forward, forward 2, very, very quickly. Of course, this technique is also used for Dragunov's wall throw. Now I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna go to the wall. You do. I'm doing forward, forward, slight delay into forward 4 at the same frame. And if you do that, you get the wall running 4 very, very quickly, and you are able to convert. Of course, this is only for specific attacks. Like if you do a back 4 free, you have all the time to input the forward, the wall running 4, because you can just buffer it. You see that? You see how many? Did you see how many times I pressed forward? You just press like forward at least like 3 times, and then once you're ready, you just press the 4 button. You just mash forward, and then when you're ready, you press the 4. It's very, very easy actually. Because when it's a specific property of the heat dash, you can buffer running attacks during a heat dash. So when you're doing a move that doesn't give you a heat dash like back 1-2, you want to try to be as quick as possible with the running 4. So you do forward, forward, neutral 4, forward, forward, neutral, forward 4, and you get the wall throw. I guess alternatively, like I explained, you can do forward, neutral, forward, forward, 4 at the same time. But it's not really that complicated. Just remember that this wall throw is only available with specific attacks. For example, if I'm doing up forward 3, I tried many times. It doesn't matter how fast I am, I can't get the wall throw. The move simply doesn't have enough recovery to allow me to get the wall throw. So sometimes it's not like you're not inputting quickly enough. It's just that you don't have enough frames to get the wall throw. So, but in most cases you can do it. You can do it with this power crush. You can do it with back 1-2. In most cases you can do it. But this is a big example. Up forward 3. You can't get your wall throw. You have to go with something different. I don't know, maybe this. No, not even that. Yeah, something like that. And then, now we talked about Blue Spark running 2. Now let's talk about Dragunov's sneak cancel. Now, as you probably know, some of Dragunov's moves can be cancelled into his sneak stance, right? Forward 3, you press down, you hold down forward, and Dragunov will transition into this sneak animation. You can do this with 3-1. You can do this with 2-1 into sneak. You always hold down forward. To get the sneak cancel, what you want to do is Once you are in this transition, you want to tap up to cancel the animation. So one way to train with this, what you can do is launch the opponent and start to do standing jab, forward free, into sneak, and then you cancel the sneak into a jab. And then you do another forward free, sneak, cancel into a jab. That's the easiest version of his sneak cancel. Then you get more complicated stuff, like for example this, right? So, for example, in the case of one of his staple combos, which is full crouch 1-4, you go into sneak. With this combo, you wanna cancel the sneak into a free 1, sneak 2 to bound the opponent, right? So what you can do here, if you wanna train with the sneak cancel, you can try to start with a sneak cancel into a standing jab. That's much easier to do than sneak cancel into free 1, because free 1 is slower. It's 15 frames. So just do this. Like I explained to you, what you want to do here is you want to wait for Dragunov to be into that forward motion. You see, he does this. It actually he waves. When he starts waving, that's when you want to input the up input to cancel the sneak. So it's all about timing, really. You just need to take a look at Dragunov's animation, and once he starts to transition into sneak, that's when you tap up. The timing can differ depending on the move you're using to get into sneak. Famously, full crouch 1-4 has the weirdest timing, because Dragunov takes a long time to actually transition into sneak. So here, you see, it takes a long time compared, for example, to something like this. So you need to wait for Dragunov to be in sneak, and once he is in sneak, you cancel it, and you start by using a standing jab to float them. Just in practice mode to get used to the sneak cancel. And then once you start to get comfortable, that's when you start to add the free 1 sneak 2. There's not really much, honestly. Unfortunately, the sneak cancel is pretty obsolete these days. It used to be much more important for Dragunov in Tekken 7. Now, it's still important to know though, because some combo routes, they require you to do this, like this one. It's pretty required, but overall, it's slightly less important than in Tekken 7. But it's still important to know how to do it. And then lastly, again, we're going to talk about crouch cancelling. Now, crouch cancelling works in the same way as sneak cancelling. So what you want to do, any move that basically puts you into crouch, something like down 2, back 2, down jab, anything that puts you in crouch. Once you're in crouch, you're very limited in the amount of moves that you can use, because you can only use wall standing moves or full crouch moves, right? I can't use my standing jab. If I want to do my standing jab, I can't use it. I get a wall standing one, which is a mid. So in order to avoid this and being able to use my my standing attacks, I have to do a crouch cancel. The crouch cancel is very easy to do. You just do a move that puts you into crouch, and then you want to top up. You want to sidestep into the background to get up. And once you get up, you have access to your full arsenal of attacks, right? So I'm doing down 2, I'm topping up, and now I'm free to do a standing jab. I'm free to do a forward 4. I'm free to do a free one. But you need to be careful about one thing, which is, in this situation, for example, I'm not free to do my 2-1 with Dragunov. You see, I'm sidestepping, I'm canceling the crouch state, and I'm trying to do 2-1. But because I'm in a sidestep, now I'm in sidestep, right? Which is also kind of a stance. You know that some characters, they have attacks that will only come out of a sidestep. And this is the case for Dragunov. If you do sidestep 2, you get this chop here, you get this these strings here. So because of this, I can't crouch cancel with a standing 2, because I would get a sidestep 2. So you need to remember that. If you have a sidestep move, the specific button that triggers that move is not available for a crouch cancel. So like I said, in the case of Dragunov, I can't sidestep into a 2-1. I can't, because Dragunov has a sidestep 2. I have a sidestep 2. So you basically only need to remember that. You can do it with any move that puts you in crouch. Unfortunately, it's not really that useful anymore. Of course, I didn't explain this, but you can't crouch cancel into the foreground. You can't top down, because this is not going to work. From crouch in Tekken, from crouch you can't sidestep towards the camera. So because of this technique is not allowed. You can only sidestep towards the background. So you can only crouch cancel by topping up. No matter what, no matter if you're on the left side or on the right side, you just top up. It's the same thing with this sneak cancel as well. Now, like I said, unfortunately, crouch cancel is not really that used anymore. In Tekken 7, Dragunov used to use this technique to link multiple down 2s like this. See? I'm down 2, I'm pressing down 2, up to go into sidestep, and then I'm pressing down 2. But I'm doing it so quickly that you can barely notice the sidestep. You can barely notice the sidestep. Now I'm gonna do it slower. I'm gonna do it fast. If you do it very, very quickly, you can barely notice the sidestep. But this is kinda obsolete in Tekken 8, and the reason is new low. Full crouch 1-4. You don't need to link multiple down 2s, because now full crouch 1-4 has the same properties as -13, just like down 2, but it gives you big plus frames. Down 2 now it's only -1. But even if we were in Tekken 7, where down 2 is neutral, this is still better. This is +7. And I think they specifically designed this low to basically break that loop. It's my theory, I don't know if that's correct, but it feels to me like they designed this low so that Dragunov doesn't do this anymore. Down 2, down 2, down 2, down 2 while standing 4. You just do this, and now you're in a completely different position. Now you're in sneak, and you have completely different options here. You can't just keep doing this over and over again. But you get a big reward because you're at +7. So I think they kinda did that to remove the down 2 link. I think this also works with 4-4. 4-4 makes Dragunov recover in crouch. So you can cancel this if you want to, although if you do that, you lose most of your plus frames though. This is +5 on its own. If you do this, you lose most of the plus frames. So I would most likely try to force a full crouch mix-up on the opponent, rather than trying to crouch cancel. But yeah, I don't know, maybe it could be useful in some situations. And that's all I wanted to say. So thank you so much for watching, and take care.